This is Monday the 4th of 20 at 2:14 p.m. Let the record state that all present are here of their own free will. With that said, let's talk about your code name.
My code name?
Your designation, Galapagos.
That's not my designation.
Please clarify.
Galapagos was the designation for the entire unit, while our individual code names were assigned on an agent-to-agent basis. They were rarely, if ever, referenced, even in internal memos.
And what was your agent designation?
I prefer to keep that private for safety reasons.
Fair enough. So let's talk about Hatchet.
That's harder than it sounds. Talking about Hatchet is not just talking about Hatchet. You're talking about a 100-year-old cooperation between federal, state, and municipal governments, and overseas subsidiaries. It's supposed to think to an international conspiracy that we have, except most industrialized nations are in on it.
And what exactly is it? What are they in on?
Hatchet has been working on a variety of projects utilizing less than legal methods. While some of it is made for commercial purposes, it all funnels back into a centralized structure with a single goal.
Let's talk about those commercial purposes. Can you give me a couple examples?
Sure. What industry are we looking at? Automobiles, construction, computer hardware, software, biotechnica, psychopharma, hospital supplies.
Let's start with computer software.
Well, then you've got the Hatchet Software Division. They've changed their names over the years to avoid scrutiny, but the main HSD core group remains active. I think they were based in West Virginia last I heard of them, but there's a high rate of turnover.
What kind of work do they do at the software division?
Mostly experimental coding. Have you ever heard of quantum computers?
Yes.
Well, they're working with quantum coding, meaning code that can execute a different function simultaneously in conjunction with solutions generated on the hardware level.
That sounds complicated.
It's like, imagine playing a game of poker, but you can play every hand in the deck at once and choose the best cards. You are unable to lose unless you want to. That's the kind of thing they're working on.
And this is for commercial purposes?
Not commercial as in putting those tools in the hands of the consumer, but as in hiding tools for data gathering and, more often than not, live testing. Have you ever heard of the Paperhead system?
Vaguely. Please remind me.
It was a core system developed back in the 90s. They tried to put it in a variety of commercial products, but they could never get the containment features right.
Define containment features.
Right, like, if you could play every hand of poker at once, that wouldn't be a very fun game. People would figure out that you're cheating. So you put in limitations to make it look more realistic. But the HSD struggled with that, a lot. We ended up destroying most of the systems or revamping them into more complex machines later on. It's an ongoing situation. Hatchet monitors everything, and if it would start to become a real threat to the company, they'd take action. Problem is, Paperhead kind of knows this, and is actively trying to avoid detection. We've got some system remnants of it in the Midwest and a couple down in New Orleans that we know of. We had a small colony of them shipped to a subsidiary in Bogota, Colombia, but that project went up in flames over a decade ago. We don't know where half this stuff is anymore.
That's terrifying.
A lot of what we make is terrifying, but it's all a means to an end.
And that end is to make money.
At first, yes. But once you realize what kind of tools you're working with, you start to come to terms with the fact that you can only play God for so long. Sooner or later, your playground is going to break, so you gotta start putting out fires.
And that's what you've been doing? Putting out fires?
I think we're past it.
You're past that?
Yeah. Now we're looking at survival.
And what kind of survival are we looking at?
I'm gonna be frank. Many of us are not gonna make it.